Hey, this is the Let's Play video for my submission to the DFW Nerd Night Design Competition. It is for my game called Echo Alchemists. I'm going to teach you how to play the game, so let's get right into it. Let's start with setup. That seems like a really good place to start. First off, you're going to have a deck of world cards that consists of 7 cards that are double-sided. One side is sci-fi themed, while the other side is fantasy themed. You are welcome to play with either side. If you like sci-fi themed games, go for it. If you like fantasy themes, go for it. Or you can either pick the one you like the most or flip them over and shuffle them up and go crazy, which is what I'm going to do here. So you start out by building a world. The way you do that is you randomize this deck, however, you shuffle. You know how to shuffle. You play games. And you begin to set it up. And the way you do that is you merely overlap these corners like so. And as you do that, it should start to build a world. So I'll speed that up real quick for you. Now that you've got your world built, you're going to put your 5 resource discs and 5 resource cubes in the center. You're going to have access to these throughout the game. Next, you're going to take a deck of 15 quest cards. Your quests are to forge these legendary staffs. The quests range in value from 1 victory point to 3 victory points, depending on the number of resources that each one requires. You're going to shuffle this up, and then you're going to deal each player 1 card face down. Then you're going to set the deck to the side within reach of both players, turn the top 2 cards face up, and you will be able to pick from these and draw from these later. I'll explain that in a bit. Now, pick your favorite color. Your options are either green or pink, and give each player one of those. You can argue over them however you feel necessary. These are your player decks. Your player decks consist of 8 cards. 2 of them are your resource cards, your gold and crystal resources, and 6 of them are your upgrade cards. Both decks are identical aside from color, and I'll get to what these do later. So set those aside for now. You're going to take 1 coin and put it on your gold track on the number 1, and you're going to take 1 crystal and put it on your crystal track on the number 1. You get to start with 1 gold and 1 crystal. Both players will do this. Okay, now you're going to take your 2 figures. These are your apprentice figures. They will help you as alchemists to get all sorts of awesome actions. Find the complete 1 quest card and place one of them there. Find the purchase 1 upgrade card and place the other one there. Which one you place where doesn't matter. They have the same function. Now, the player with the longest toenails is the start player. So whip off your shoes and figure out who has the longest toenails. Whoever does is start player, and they get the start player panda meeple. In this case, green is going to be our start player. All right, now the game is completely set up and you're ready to play. So the way gameplay works is you have a rondel that has various actions that you are going to be able to get access to. And the way you do that is on your turn, you can move 1 or both, or neither if you choose, of the apprentice characters. And you can move them a total of 3 spaces between the 2 of them. Meaning, you could move the ranger 1, 2, 3 spaces, but you wouldn't be able to move the mouse one this turn. Or, you could move the ranger 1, 2 spaces, and the mouse 1. You don't have to use your full 3 movement. If you want to move each one of them 1, that's totally fine. Whatever space they end their move on, they get the benefit of that action. For example, the ranger landed on take 1 gold, so you would get to earn 1 gold. You move your gold up on the gold tracker. And the mouse landed on take 1 cube. You get to take 1 cube from the center pile. It can be any cube you want. So in this case, let's say a red cube. So there are various things that can be done. I've shown you take money and take cube. So take 1 disc would obviously let you take 1 disc. Take 1 quest would let you take 1 quest from this quest pool. You can take either of the face-up quests, or you can take the top face-down quest. In this case, I'll take this quest, in which case this immediately refills, and you flip the top card over, and it does that. So, I have 2 quests, and I am trying to get these resources in order to complete each quest. So, example, this would be a blue cube, a red disc, and a black disc. So as I'm going around, I'm trying to collect those. Once I have collected those, let's say I have these, I've gone around and gotten these 3, and I want to complete this quest. If I land on the complete quest spot, I may complete a quest, in which case I turn it face up in front of me, and I return those resources to the common resource pool. You can only complete a quest when you land on complete one quest. Take one crystal allows you to take a crystal. Now what crystals do, they have two different actions. You can only use one crystal per turn, but you can use it at any time during your turn, and you can only use one of the actions that crystals allow you to do. The first, you can spend a crystal, and you can move anywhere on the board. You're not limited by your movement of 3, which means I could move the mouse, say, here, if I wanted. Or I could even move the mouse all the way around the board and land back on the spot I started in. Wherever the mouse ends, you get access to that action. That does count as the mouse's movement, so you can't move that anymore this turn, but it doesn't count towards your total of 3. So I can still move the ranger up to 3 spaces if I so choose. The other action that crystals allow you to do if you spend a crystal is you can use your alchemist powers in order to transmogrify, I don't know if that's a word, but we'll use it, resources into other resources. You can either change the shape of the resource or the color of the resource, but not both. Meaning I can change a red cube into a cube of any color, or I can change it into a red disc. And the way I do that is I take the cube and I exchange it for the disc. You have to pay the resource to do that. You can even do that if it's from your opponent. So say my opponent has these resources and I want that red cube. I can spend my red disc using a crystal and I give that to my opponent and I take their red cube, which adds a sense of urgency to completing quests because you can't just hoard resources. As far as what money does, money will let you purchase upgrades, which are here. Each person has access to their 6 upgrades. You can look at them at any time. And say I want to choose to do the upgrade that allows me to move 4 spaces instead of 3, and say I had 3 money. When I land on purchase upgrade, I can spend my 3 money, and I can get access to that. You simply place it face up in front of you. So now, my 2 characters can move 4 spaces between the 2 of them, instead of 3 spaces between the 2 of them. The other thing that gold does is that if you spend 2 gold, you can purchase 1 crystal. You can do that at any point during your turn. As that is the entirety of the game. That is how you play the game. You continue alternating, going around the rondel, clockwise, 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 getting access to different actions, getting access to different resources, building up all sorts of victory point cards. The game ends when the last face-down quest card is turned face up. So say there was only 1 quest card left in this deck, and I take this one, I land on the take quest action, and I turn this one face up. That triggers the end of the game. However, you get to finish your turn, so if I did that on my first, and then I say I was able to complete a quest, I can complete my quest. And both players have to get an equal number of turns. I was start player, so that means the second player hasn't had as many turns. So if I triggered that, they would get to complete a full turn as well. Once the game ends, you score up. Scoring is very simple. You simply add the total victory points of all your completed quests, and as well as any upgrade cards that gave you extra victory points. For example, this one says earn 1 victory point for each 2 purchased upgrades. Say I had purchased 2 upgrades. I'd get an additional victory point. Whoever has the most victory points, once you've added up the totals of everything, wins the game. If it's a tie, it goes to whoever has the most crystals. If it's still a tie, it goes to whoever has the most gold. If it's still a tie at that point, well, then that's weird, and I guess you tie the game, but really I put in the rules that you immediately have to play another game, because who wants to end in a tie? You gotta figure out who's the strongest Echo Alchemist of all time. So, that is the game. I have the rules and the print and play cards that I have sent in an additional file, and you can also get them down below. I hope that you guys enjoy it. I hope that, you guys have fun with it. Thanks so much for including me in the competition, and I look forward to hearing back.